Has their Prime Minister Keir Starmer been body snatched? After condoning mass migration with low barrier to entry in the UK, he is all of a sudden all in on deportations and raising the barrier of entry to migrants. His government published this white paper outlining what they call themselves radical reforms, such as requiring immigrants to speak English, so radical, doubling the time it takes to qualify for citizenship, increasing the burden of proof for people who come for work or study. Here's what he says, and again, him saying this is something that people in the UK have been arrested for saying. So this is like Partygate. Boris Johnson can throw parties during COVID and arrest people for doing that. Keir Starmer is saying things that people have been arrested in the UK for saying, is that everyone's angry about immigration. We're going to take control of our borders and we're going to smash the people smuggling gangs. Okay, this is, again, something people asked when the Southport killing happened. Was this a product of an unassimilated migrant? And they were arrested for it. He's acting like this was a campaign promise, but he did not act like this in 2016, 2020. He was very for liberal open borders. When is the last time you checked your home title? Did you know that there is a scam where people put themselves on the title of your home and then they go and try and sell their interest in your home? This is a thing. It's always been a thing. In fact, that's where we get the term, if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you, because people were quit claiming their interest in the Brooklyn Bridge when they had none. So this is a very old scam. It can happen to you. That's why you should look into our friends over at Home Title Lock. And what they do is just make sure that no ne'er-do-wells do anything with probably your main asset, which is your home. They make sure you have a clean title, because when you buy the house, obviously you get a title search, so you know you've got clean title. But then what happens after that while you're living there? Well, that's what Home Title Lock does, is that they keep an eye on your main asset, on your title, to make sure that nobody does anything like that. And so if you join Home Title Lock, you can get a membership. They keep an eye on this for you. You can use our promo code Redacted at HomeTitleLock.com to make sure that your title is still in your name. And then you'll also get a free title history report, plus a free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, plus urgent alerts to any changes. And if frauds should happen, they'll spend up to $1 million on your behalf to fix it. So check them out right now, because this may be something you need to look into. I mean, you definitely do if you're a homeowner. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Again, use the code Redacted. That's HomeTitleLock.com/redacted. Use the code Redacted for all of that. Again, HomeTitleLock.com/redacted. So joining us to discuss is Jim Ferguson. He is a former parliamentary candidate and journalist, and also the founder of Freedom Train International. Thank you, Jim, for joining us. What do you make of this epiphany of the Prime Minister?
Well, it's just incredible. Yes, I think he probably has either been body snatched or he's completely lost his marbles. But you know something? It's very, very serious in the United Kingdom. We have boatloads coming across the English Channel every single day, and these are getting bigger and bigger. They're not little tiny dinghies anymore. These are big big boats coming with large numbers of people. And I think one of the things that people have to understand is that this is by design, Natali. It's not by chance. This is a repeat, and both you and Clayton know this, but we're seeing this in the Western world. This is happening definitely by design. The question is it to sow division? Is it to completely swamp our services, our public services? But we do know that crime is increasing. Women no longer feel safe. Attacks on children are escalating as well. I've seen horrible footage just today where people have been attempted to be kidnapped in broad daylight. It's getting out of control. And I think Starmer realizes he's on a very, very thin ice with the populace in the United Kingdom right now.
I see some Brits in our chat saying he just simply wants the reform votes. That's why he's doing this, because it's been so bizarre to me. Every tweet that I look at from him over the past few days is all about illegal immigration. It's all about how he's doing stuff to stop it. I mean, like, if you want to live in the UK, you should speak English. That's common sense. So we're raising English language requirements across every main immigration route. I mean, the list is endless. Every day now he's on this story. So is it that he's really just trying to get these reform votes to stay politically relevant?
Well, I think you make a really good point there, Clayton, and your readers, their comments are spot on. They're right on target because Reform has done very well in the local elections all across England. And what is happening is that people are starting to see what's going on in their own communities. There are entire hotels that are being commandeered, even some military bases where personnel are being moved out to allow these massive numbers of migrant men coming in. And by the way, they're not asylum seekers. These are predominantly young military-aged men, aged between 19 and 30, who are coming in. They're not running from any war-torn countries. There's no women and children there. And this has been repeated, of course, in Ireland as well, and indeed in Europe. So there is something going on here that is deeply concerning. It is on purpose. And I think what Starmer is doing is following that typical globalist agenda. The West has been flooded right now. And up until very recently, it was happening on the US southern border, as your previous guests were highlighting. Thanks to Donald Trump, that has now stopped, but it's still happening in the United Kingdom.
Now, he talked about how he had found, I don't remember the number. He says, I've been deporting people, basically. Oh, I've already returned 24,000 people with no right to be here, and it won't stop there. So, okay, but a lot of those were voluntary after he started talking about this. And is it a sort of cat and mouse game that they're playing in front of us performatively? Like, we know there are millions. And so 24,000 is a drop in the bucket, but they can release what sounds impressive if you don't know any better.
Well, that's exactly correct, Natali. They are playing a very dangerous game, though, because the people in the United Kingdom are waking up to this. People in France, in Germany, in Sweden. I mean, Sweden is the rape capital of Europe now. They let them come in there, and now it's not just shootings every day. There are bombings going on in Sweden as well. Who would have thought we would ever seen something like that happening in Sweden? But it is happening. It is real, and it is on purpose. There is a design. There's a methodology going on here. The question is, why are they putting so many people who have no right to be here, and they're throwing everything they can at these people? They're giving them free healthcare, mobile phones, cash handouts. It's costing the British taxpayer billions every year. Why would they be doing that and actively allowing criminals to come in here who are largely unvetted? They don't know whether they're terrorists or not. And the recent sting by MI5 and the security services, where they caught Iranians planning to attack the Israeli embassy, is very real. They don't know who's coming in, and it's putting public safety at serious risk.
You mentioned something earlier. I want to go back to it. I think it's maybe the most important point, which, under the Biden administration, it was all facilitated. It was on purpose. The massive amounts of illegal immigration pouring into the United States was all facilitated by the government. You're an island nation, for crying out loud. So it has to be facilitated, as you mentioned. So the government seems complicit in this. We got these smugglers. The police are complicit in the smuggling that's happening.
In fact, we know that because police have investigated these smugglers with, or victims of smugglers with their smugglers sitting right there. Police have let smugglers go. We know this. We've had these reports already. So, he's talking about like, ooh, I'm going to get the bad guys, but he's got to get the cops that allow the bad guys too. He said nothing of this.
Well, the RNLI is the Lifeboat Association. I mean, they're like a taxi service right now. The French Navy are escorting them in halfway across the English Channel. The RNLI boats are going out, they're picking them up and they're taking them back. And a lot of the dinghies, it's been rumoured, are being recycled. So they're being flown or shipped back to France. The outboard motors are being sent separately. And then it's wash, rinse, and repeat. So there is definitely something going on. I think the United Nations are involved. But we also know that there are very wealthy billionaires like George Soros who are heavily involved in destabilization of America right now, but he's doing it to Europe as well. For some reason, they want to flood the United Kingdom with large numbers of young illegal migrant men. And it's definitely not asylum seekers. So why are they here? Why is the government so complicit in this? Because it's certainly not in the British national interest.
A color revolution?
Well, Clayton, it's been rumoured that they might be acting as an insurance policy. As nations like Romania wake up, as people realise the globalist infiltration that's been going on in our respective governments and in our parliaments, perhaps they're thinking, well, if they're there in large enough numbers, if things get difficult enough for them, maybe they could be activated, or maybe to act as some kind of paramilitary or police force, maybe in another pandemic, for instance, where there is lockdowns again, where there is restrictions. Maybe they realise that the British public are not going to put up with it again. Maybe that's their way of ensuring that we are all made to be comply and with their diktats and their dystopian mandates.
Oh, that's frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So bottom line, Keir Starmer's epiphany, we're not falling for it. We see through it. We don't quite trust it, right? You're a fool to trust it.
Absolutely right. And the sooner he's gone, the better. I think, I've said it before, I think that Nigel Farage will be the next Prime Minister. And I'm not politically active any longer. I absolutely do. But there are great people in Reform UK that they're very, very patriotic. There are many other people who also are very, very patriotic, and they're deeply concerned about what's going on. There's now more illegal migrants in this country than there is British military.
Yeah. That's crazy to think
Really?
about.
That's astonishing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jim Ferguson, always great to see you. Follow Jim on X. He does some incredible reporting. Jim Ferguson UK on X. He's incredible. Jim, great to see you as always. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. I know we had some. We had it later than we had intended, so thank you for that. We really appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure, Clayton. Lovely to see you and Natali again, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.